All right, welcome everyone to the admissions webinar for the Tulane School of Professional Advancement, John Lewis Public Administration Program. I'm Halima Leek Francis, and I use she and her pronouns. I'm the program director and a professor of practice in our program. As we let people in from the waiting room, I think we have a couple of people here who are joining us. I'd like to invite you all to share with us in the chat your name. Well, we see your name on the screen, but share with us in the chat where you are joining us from. And also anything else you'd like to share in the chat. I also invite you, if you're in a place where you're able to do so, please feel free to turn your cameras on and engage with us in any way that you'd like to. You can, if you have questions that come up in the course of our presentation, please feel free to come off mute. You can put them in the chat and we'll do our best to respond to your questions as we move through the presentation. So I'm really, really excited to have you join us today to learn more about our program. As I shared, I'm the director and a professor of practice in John Lewis Public Administration Program. I am really thrilled to hold a leadership position in this program as we really focus on training public service professionals to go out and make a difference in their work and be effective in the context of diverse and ever-changing public service situations and environments. I came to this work after a career of about 20 years in practice, primarily in the nonprofit and philanthropic sectors. Much of the work that I've done has been throughout the country, actually. So I've worked in several different states doing this work. As I think about it, it doesn't seem like that long, and it doesn't seem like I've been in that many places, but I've been fortunate to be able to experience this work in several different settings and contexts. One of the areas that I care very deeply about and that I engage in my practice and in some of the research that I've done has been philanthropy, particularly within higher administration or higher education administration, also looking at historically Black colleges and universities and their work within the community. Um, as a practitioner, like I shared, I've worked in nonprofits and philanthropy for a large amount of time, working in funding areas that include everything from individual giving to federal grant sources. So I have a wide spectrum of experience in that area. And I have seen firsthand the importance of bringing multiple conversations to the table as we lead, or as we hope to develop effective programming in public service. So I believe deeply in collaborative approaches that engage not only nonprofits and philanthropy, but also government, local, state, and federal level government, as well as private sector work. So hearing those things about my background, you can probably guess some of the things that excite me about this work and being able to work with students as they build their careers in public service. So as we move through this presentation, as we move through this conversation today, you'll have the opportunity to hear from my colleagues who are pictured here, and I will pause for a moment to give them the opportunity to introduce themselves and share a bit about their backgrounds and experience. So we'll start next with Brian McNamara, who is up here next on the screen.
All right, thank you so much, Halima. I appreciate it. Welcome to the webinar. My name is Brian McNamara. I'm the Associate Program Director and a Professor of Practice. I've been with Tulane since May of 2021, and prior to that, I served on active duty as a commissioned officer with the United States Coast Guard for 21 years. So my practitioner background has focused on maritime policy and law at the international, U.S. domestic, and the port levels, as well as significant leadership and management experience in different settings with a variety of operational, instructor and legal tours while I was on active duty as an attorney for the Coast Guard, served in a variety of roles, including administrative law roles, court-martial, prosecution, defense, and even sometime as a court-martial judge. And so I look forward to hopefully working with you in the future. And I will turn it over to our colleague, Dr. Tiara Richardson-Summers.
Thank you so much, Brian. Hello, everyone. I'm Tiara Richardson-Summers, and I'm currently a professor of practice in the program. My career background in public administration is really focused at the state and local government levels. I spent several years in Tallahassee, Florida. So, Sarah, we have a Florida connection, and I was working with the Florida Department of Health there. My research background looks at emergency preparedness, specifically emergency preparedness in U.S. nursing homes. And I look forward to learning a little bit more about you as we share some more about our program. And I'm going to pass it over to Ryan. Sorry.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ryan Albright. My background for the past 20 plus years has been in public policy and urban planning. Most of my work focuses around disaster response and recovery, public policy, and helping states and municipalities sort through the complicated public policy infrastructure at the federal and state level. And also my current research is focused on how state and local governments lean on nonprofits in the wake of disaster and how we can better mitigate those impacts on community to bring about more equitable recoveries. So I'm excited to be here today and to talk to you about our program. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So as we go through our session today, I'll give some background on the School of Professional Advancement. We'll also talk about things that you can expect and what you'll experience as a student in our program specifically. You'll also get the opportunity to hear about some of the work that we do that students engage in from an experiential perspective. And we will then offer you an opportunity to ask questions. But as I shared, please feel free to jump in the chat or come off mute and ask questions throughout the presentation. So first, if you look at the School of Professional Advancement where we are housed, we are one of the 10 schools that make up Tulane University. And you can see all of the schools that are featured here. One of the things that is unique about the School of Professional Advancement, and particularly our program being housed in the School of Professional Advancement, is that we are specifically focused on helping students to build valuable experiences that will support their careers. So one of the cornerstones of the work that we do here at the School of Professional Advancement is to speak to the needs of professional working adults. And that can be working adult students at any age range, any of the levels of responsibilities that you have as someone who is currently in practice or someone who is working, trying to navigate that. So we are really a unique feature as you look at some of the other units throughout the university, and we're very proud to be able to support the population that we support as a unit in the university. Within our school, you will see, if you go to our website, you will see that we have 9 different academic programs, which offers us as a public administration program the opportunity to really lean into kind of the diversity of representation that you will see as a public sector professional. So I think that there are quite a few benefits for our program being housed in the School of Professional Advancement with such diverse offerings, and of course, housed within Tulane University. Next slide, please. So as you think about the School of Professional Advancement and the John Lewis Public Administration program being a part of the Tulane community, you have an opportunity to really benefit from a lot of the things that come with being a part of the New Orleans community. And that benefits you from not only kind of the experiential, the social engagement element. You see here Mardi Gras beads and a beautiful campus that we have. So yes, we have have a lot of fun here, but it also lends to some great learning experiences. Later on in the presentation, you'll hear about one of those things, and that's our capstone, our residency experience, where students have the opportunity to come to New Orleans and engage with live organizations that are here and hear from professionals here in the community and throughout. And that's one of the benefits of being a part of the Tulane community in a place like New Orleans. Our school is housed on the New Orleans Uptown campus, and we have several other satellite locations. And our program specifically is a fully online program. So again, having those kind of diverse opportunities for engagement really offer you a chance to experience Tulane at multiple levels. You get to see us in the New Orleans Uptown setting, you get to see us in the broader community, and you get to experience the Tulane School of Professional Advancement, John Lewis Public Administration program online as well. Next slide, please. So at the end of the day, when you receive your degree, and I know I'm jumping ahead, so this is an admissions webinar, you haven't even applied probably, but we're going to get right to the chase. So when you receive your degree, you will receive a full-fledged Tulane degree, which carries with it quite a bit of recognition, quite a bit of status, but also you get to benefit from our programs and our faculty. We have done a tremendous job of getting experts in the field who have been boots on the ground, who have done the work, and they bring a tremendous amount of experience. So you get to benefit as a student from having access to the quality of education that Tulane has become known for. You get access to a faculty, again, that represents a high level of quality, a high level of expertise, a high level of knowledge, and a high level of connection and interaction with students. And of course, our program itself, which I joined Tulane in 2019 to lead the development and launch of this program. And I can say from day one, we have really sought out to build this program with our students and their experience in mind. So you, again, have access to a great quality education. Next slide, please. So again, as I shared earlier, the things that we'll discuss will be the program faculty, your learning experience, student support, and the affordability and flexibility of this program. You see here in the images that are here, the celebration of students who are graduating from our program. And I want to highlight that for you because what we do is we seek to build a community, our community of students, a community of faculty who really seek to work together. And it is truly a long-term experience. So once you graduate from the program, as a student in the program, even as someone who is expressing interest in the program, you are a member of our community, and we're here to be a resource for you long-term. Next slide. So here's an example of some of the faculty experts who we have had teaching the program and some who are currently teaching in the program. As I look here at this slide, these are faculty who've pretty much been involved with us and been a part of our program from the very beginning. So they've had a strong voice. You'll see some of their Zoom videos, you'll see some of their lectures as you matriculate through the program, and you get to benefit from this diversity of expertise. So as you see here, we have a former mayor who sits on our faculty, and you get to not only experience his knowledge expertise, so he has the academic credentials and the academic backing, but his experience as a former mayor. You see here those who have worked in equity and inclusion and diversity, social justice experts. You also see those who are experts in data and technology and innovation in cities. So you really get to see kind of how public administration operates as an ecosystem. There's not one domain that holds the responsibility or shoulders all of the work of public service and making our communities function well. So you get to really interact with faculty and experts, a team of experts who have so many different perspectives. And that informs your approach to how you develop your own practice and how you navigate your careers. So as I think about our faculty, not only do our students get to benefit from their expertise and their knowledge, but they also benefit from the relationships and having the ability to grow their networks. Next slide. So I will hand it off to Professor McNamara to talk about some of our memberships and partnerships and how they can benefit you all as students as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Lee Francis. So to talk briefly about our memberships and partnerships, here with the John Lewis Public Administration Program, we enter into these partnerships with one goal in mind, which is to enhance your experience as a student. We are members of the network of schools of public policy, public affairs, and public administration. And as a faculty, we have strong professional connections to leaders within that organization and to the various committees within that organization. And one of the benefits that accrue to you include, during our residency, we are able to use NASPA sanctioned tools such as exercise simulations that have been vetted through their development and their network to give you the best possible experience. The International City County Management Student Chapter at Tulane is the first one in the state of Louisiana. And we have a strong network of students who meet together outside of the classroom to work on professional development opportunities. We have sent multiple students to ICMA regional conferences and to the ICMA annual national conference to help develop their connections and opportunities for professional growth. New Leaders Council and the National League of Cities are very exciting partnerships that we have, in large part because they provide opportunities within the structure of our program that you don't normally get within a graduate program. And in particular, our work with the National League of Cities provides potential opportunities for you to go through one of their leadership programs and obtain course credit for that experience that you can apply toward the Master of Public Administration at Tulane. So in summary, all of our membership and partnerships are here to benefit your student experience and to help you move forward in your career with your degree or with your graduate certificate. Next slide, please. So a little bit about who we are. I'll let you read the slide, but I think the main points are we're here to connect theory with practice for you. And I would offer that in many ways, connecting theory with practice effectively in the classroom and through courses is more difficult than just focusing on theory alone or focusing on practice alone. So as you saw from Dr. Lee Francis with the type of faculty who teach within our program, that is our goal, to bring you the best academic qualifications and the best practitioner qualifications together so that you get that true linkage between theory and practice. And we want you to graduate from either your Master of Public Administration program or from your certificate program with bona fide skill in thinking about how to incorporate social equity and racial equity principles into the public policy process, to learn effectively how to incorporate that type of thought process to help affect improved public policy for the world. And then you heard Dr. Lee Francis mention earlier some of the benefits about having the John Lewis Public Administration Program within the School of Professional Advancement. And I'd like to share just one more benefit, which is that within SoPA, all of us are professors of practice. And what that means is we don't have a research requirement for continuation of our contracts and for continuation of our employment with Tulane. And so our sole focus is on you, teaching you, and improving your student experience. Next slide, please. For the MPA, we do require 12 different 3-credit courses, 7 core courses, including the capstone, and then an additional 5 electives. You can choose, but you don't have to use 4 of those 5 electives to pursue a concentration, which generally are coextensive with the graduate certificates within the program. And for each individual course, they are 12 modules long, which roughly equates to 12 weeks of work. Usually in the semesters, 1 or 2 modules will be stretched out over a couple of weeks. So 12 different modules, and usually between 4 and 6 synchronous Zoom meetings for each course per semester. And so that's just a bit of an overview about what the degree requirements are. And with that, I will turn it to the next slide and to my colleague, Dr. Ryan Albright.
Thank you, Brian. So I want to take a quick moment to talk about the experiential components of the program. This includes applied research in the capstone class, an internship that's required for folks who don't have any experience in the field directly, and then required residency, as we've spoken about a little bit, in New Orleans. Next slide, please. So the Applied Research Center, I think it's important to walk through the mission, of course, is to reinforce the role of the John Lewis Public Administration Program as a pipeline for civic leadership talent while addressing the challenges facing communities. I think it's important to note that the specific benefits to students include real-world experience, shaping theory into practice, working with organizations and communities to understand how to address the challenges that they face, building relationships between students and practitioners in a deep and meaningful way, and by developing skills that will aid you across your career journey. Next slide, please. So the MPA residency program marks the culmination of the MPA curriculum. We host the residency on the Uptown campus here at Tulane University in New Orleans. The residency duration is 3 days of in-person networking, learning, and dialogue. I would say one of the highlights are the exciting and engaging panels and experiences that you will take part in while you're here in New Orleans. And I think one of the most important components of the residency is fostering connections between you and program faculty, fellow students, the university itself, being grounded in place at the university, and more broadly, the city of New Orleans. And with that, I will hand it over to Tia.
Okay. Thank you, Ryan. Next slide, please. So if you're not sure about pursuing the full public administration degree, I am here to tell you that you do have options, so don't fret. This slide will actually tell you about how the certificates are stackable to go towards credits for your master's degree. So if you start with a graduate certificate, one of the certificates that's offered, we'll talk about that on the next slide. All you would need would be 6 to 8 additional courses, depending on the certificate that you pursue, and then you can stack to pursue the master's degree. And we do have students that start in the certificate program. They reach out to us because they have enjoyed the courses so much and they want to know, can they continue on for the full MPA degree? So we want you to know that that is an option if you start with the certificate program and you want to use those course credits to go towards your MPA degree. Next slide, please. And like I said, these are this is a list of our current graduate certificate programs. Because public administration is an interdisciplinary field, we offer certificates in a variety of areas that are related to the work of public and nonprofit administrators. Next slide, please.
And I think we have a question in the chat about stacking certificates towards your MPA. And if Dr. Summers, if it's okay, I can go ahead and respond to that. So because our program has 6 required courses, and then you have a free elective, and then you have additional courses. I think it's about 4 additional courses that are either elective or concentrations. Being able to stack 2 certificates could present, we'd have to figure out like how the courses that you take in the certificates align with your required courses. So we would have to look at the elective courses that you have left, and in what way might the concentration courses or your certificate courses align with your required courses. I know there's a very long response to that question, but the short response is we could look at the courses that you've taken and how they align. And as I think about the required courses, there are a couple of courses that we do not allow substitution for, and that all students have to take, and that's our MPAD 6000 class, which is our foundational class, and our capstone class. The other classes that are required classes, sometimes students, and we'll talk about the credit for prior learning a little bit later, but sometimes students are able to demonstrate prior learning in those content areas, which allows them not to be able to take those classes. And that would be the same consideration given to any other courses that you've taken as transfer credit, basically. So I'm happy to talk to anyone about that specifically in the details and kind of walk through that. But those are some of the considerations on the table when you're looking at taking 2 certificates.
Perfect. Thank you, Halima, for that. And so this slide just discusses how our creative program design is one of the benefits of a program like the John Lewis Public Administration program. As Halima has previously discussed, we do have an interactive, engaging, and relevant program design, and that is something that we focus on when we're designing the content of the courses, as we are updating our courses to make sure that the topics that we cover are relevant to the real world, and that we can incorporate scenarios that you may face when you go out as a public administrator or on the job market when you leave the program. We also have the flexibility of adapting the learning environment for students' learning styles. So it's not a one size fits all. We are able to work with the different learning styles and to offer different ways of learning and for disseminating the information to benefit all of the students in the program. Next slide, please. And this slide just talks about the projected job growth within public administration as a whole. As you can see, they talk about career opportunities in the government, nonprofit, and private sectors. Specifically within the MPA field, a projected 5% growth nationally, 14% growth in the Southeast through 2026. So we want you to know that this is not a stagnant field and we are growing. So a degree in public administration can be useful as you are looking at pursuing a new career field. Maybe you want to transition in your career field, or you want to advance in your current career field. Next slide, please. And so now we'll have a student testimonial from someone who was actually in the program, just so that you don't have to take our word for it, but you can hear from another student in the program.
The online program far exceeded my expectations. I was a little hesitant to do an online program just because I was nervous about sort of feeling isolated, as far as instead of like in person, sort of feeling by myself and no interaction. But this program really encourages the interaction between not only you and your classmates, but with you and the faculty and staff.
The professors and the faculty are phenomenal. And their real life experiences carries on into the coursework, and it just supports you as a student. And I think because of my experience, it just really enhanced my learning. It's a phenomenal program.
And that is awesome. I'm definitely like partial to Gigi and seeing her speak of the program, because I actually served as a mentor for Gigi as she was pursuing continuing her education in a PhD program. And that is what she is currently doing now. And so that is an option if you have that in the back of your mind, if this is a step towards continuing your education and possibly pursuing another degree like a PhD, that is something that we can also help to mentor you with and to help you guide you if that's something that you want to pursue in the future. The next slide just tries to show you the diversity of the students in our program. As you can see, the average age of our students is 32. And so we are very aware that we have adult learners in our program, and we are mindful that there are different approaches that sometimes adult learners will need when they're trying to balance the work life and school requirements. And so we are very cognizant of that. You can also see that 57% of our students identify as BIPOC. And so that is diversity that is represented not only within the School of Professional Advancement, but within the John Lewis Public Administration program. It illustrates the top 5 states of our students And like I said, some achievements, we have students that have graduated from the program and are now pursuing law degrees. They're in doctoral programs. They pursued promotions and career opportunities. And we've had several students be awarded the prestigious Tulane 34 Award from our program. And so that's just a little snippet that illustrates that we value diversity, and it is shown through the numbers and the students that we have enrolled in the program. And you have options that will either help you to pursue different opportunities on your current career path, or pursue other opportunities, possibly like a law degree or a PhD if you want to continue on with your education. Next slide, please. And so this slide just talks about how we have student success and support options. We are actually very proud of the student success and support strategies that we implement in the program. I currently serve as the student success liaison in the program. And what that means is I reach out directly to students to ensure that they are receiving the necessary support from our program faculty and staff as they pursue either their certificate or their MPA degree in the program. We also have a dedicated academic advisor for each SoPA student. And so you'll be maintaining contact with the advisor. You will be advised on enrolling in your courses and the things that you need to pursue and make your way all the way to graduation. And she helps to really keep our students on track. We have expert faculty like Dr. Lee Francis mentioned. We have people who have a vast number of experiences out in the industry and have experience teaching on other faculty and within our faculty. And so you have that benefit one-on-one with your professors. You are able to reach out to them if you have questions or concerns within your coursework. And then I also serve as like that extra layer, that extra buffer if you need support from the full-time faculty, because I will admit some of them may have challenges balancing their work and life and school balance. And so if you ever need that extra buffer, if you ever need to reach out on me to reach out on your behalf, I'm happy to do that. You also have the option of networking with your peers and other Tulane alumni, and then a career advisor. And we have a dedicated career advisor in our program that will help you when you go and you start thinking about being on the job market or looking at other opportunities as it comes to career opportunities. Next slide, please. We also have an option for credit for prior learning. And so what this program does is it gives you credit for prior learning that it talks about your learning that was awarded for learning outside of the classroom, and you can earn up to 6 credits from completing a portfolio assessment and getting credit for program courses within the program. And so with the credit for prior learning, you will determine if your previous experience aligns with courses that you currently need to complete for either your certificate or your MPA degree. And you can determine if you can complete the portfolio assessment and get credit for that prior experience. And so this program is actually a benefit because, as you can see from the slide, there's an average savings of $3,000 on a master's degree if you implement this credit. And so this is one option that you can think about if you are awarded admission to the program. Next slide, please. And I'm going to pass it back to Dr. Lee Francis.
Thank you, Dr. Summers. So as we talk about affordability, I do want to kind of backtrack a little bit and look at the credit for prior learning. It only applies to the MPA degree. So it only applies to a full degree, not a certificate. So the credit for prior learning, 6 credits, as you kind of do the math and work out how many classes that is, that's the equivalent of 2 classes. And typically our certificates are 4 classes. So if you were to not take 2 of those 4 classes, that's about 50% of the certificate you would not have access to. So for that reason, we only apply it to full degrees. Now, it goes without saying that that could be a tremendous benefit, and it does offer our students the opportunity to put into practice and to really think about how their experience and expertise, whether it be work experience, professional work experience, volunteerism. There have been some students I've reviewed portfolio assessments, and they've included work that they have done with boards and community organizations, and other coursework and other knowledge that they have developed throughout their careers. And we want to be able to give students credit for that, but also help you to, I think, communicate the value of that experience as you think about your own professional development. Next slide, please. So this slide really focuses on affordability. So as I think about affordability, I kind of put it into a few buckets. So price versus value. And as I think about our program and the cost for our classes, you see here that fall graduate courses are about or $1,210 per credit, and each class is 3 credits each. So that puts you roughly at a tuition range of about $40,000-ish, maybe a little bit higher or lower, but it's in that range. And the value that you get from that investment is truly is tremendous, you know, as based on all the things that we've shared with you about your opportunities to engage with our faculty, the courses that you will be taking, the connections with your peers and your network, and then also the mentoring and many other things that you'll experience as a student in this program. The value is certainly there. We do have many ways that we try to offset the cost burden, and you'll see here we have tuition discounts for several different communities and several different professions. Some of those include active duty military and veterans, alumni of Tulane, alumni of minority serving institutions such as historically Black colleges and universities, educators, New Orleans area public service employees. So there are many opportunities for you to take advantage of various discounts and partnerships that we have. We also offer financial aid. So this program is financial aid eligible. You do have access to financial aid support is in some of our student support services. There are counselors who will talk to you about financial aid and how to access those funds. That includes federal grants and federal loans. Again, the 6 credit hours for work and life experience. There's also a transfer student scholarship. So we have various financial aid opportunities that will help offset some of the, as I shared, the cost burden that you have. We do recognize that this is an investment. We do recognize that any funds that students put towards their education are to be taken very seriously. So while we do offer high value for the work, we do as much as we can to make sure that you do not go into a tremendous amount of debt for your educational costs. Next slide, please. So I encourage you, based on all the things that you've heard, if these things resonate with you, if you are excited to join our community, I encourage you to go ahead and apply now. Our application process is relatively straightforward. It is online. We do not require any standardized test scores, so you don't have to take the GRE or GMAT or any other standardized test. What we are really interested in is what you hope to gain out of this experience. So please share in your admissions essays how you think earning an MPA, specifically in our program, or how do you think getting a certificate in our program can help you move to that next level or help to enhance your knowledge and your expertise in the field that you want to work in, or the field that you want to be a part of. So please give a lot of attention to those admissions essays. One thing I will say about those essays in particular, that helps us to kind of understand where you are in terms of written communication. Written communication is a big part of this program because we are online, but also because of the practice area that we operate in as well. So that's an opportunity to demonstrate the skills that you already have, and also to acknowledge areas that you would like to grow and areas that you would like to build on. Another thing I'll add about our application process, even if you do fall below the GPA threshold, and we have the GPA threshold on our website is 3.0, I still encourage you to apply. Please think about what your undergraduate experience might have been and why you may have fallen below that threshold. And certainly those things are that we take into consideration as we're reviewing your application. So don't let that be a deterrent for you to not apply for our program. So you see here the link to the website where you can apply to the program. And as a person joining this webinar, your application fee will be waived. So take advantage of the opportunity and apply now. Next slide. So you see here our application deadlines. We are approaching the deadline for applications for the spring semester. If you apply and are admitted and enroll in classes, there's an early enrollment deadline where students are able to get a discount or a $500 discount for graduate students who register for class early. So if you're able to get your application in and you're admitted and you enroll in classes, which our enrollment period for classes, registration for classes is open now. So it is possible that you can have all of that stuff done before we go into the November, December, January holiday season that we're all facing. So you can get your application completed without the distractions of cooking and family and all the other things that are happening around this time of year. If you are considering joining us for the summer term, we do have a summer admission term. You see here the enrollment or the application deadline is May 1st with an early enrollment deadline of April 25th. So we encourage, if that works better for your timing, please consider applying for the summer term, and then fall as well. We have fall semester. So as you'll see, we have 3 enrollment periods throughout the year, which is another unique element for our program. Oftentimes you'll see programs that admit 1 time a year, maybe twice in some cases, but we do admit 3 times a year, recognizing that life changes and that timing may vary for different students in different situations. So, but if you're ready, if you're excited and you feel like you're set up to be successful for the spring semester, please go ahead and get your application in. So with that, I'll open the floor for any questions or any final thoughts from colleagues or anyone who's on the line here. So Holly, Sarah, do you have any questions? Or Professor McNamara, Dr. Summers, Dr. Albright, do you have any thoughts as we close out? And feel free to come off. You don't have to put them in the chat.
All right, so I will. I'll share something real quick, which is that I originally took my MPA from Old Dominion University when I was on active duty with the Coast Guard, looking to compete for the Coast Guard legal program. And unexpectedly, I realized that MPA really opened up my world of work and helped me to view my career in a way that I never would have had I not completed the MPA. So I just want to put that pitch in for really just the power of an MPA degree to really help you see the world in a different way. And obviously, we're here. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Wonderful, thank you. All right. Well, if you have any questions that come up after we log off, feel free to reach out to any one of us. You see my contact information here. You see Professor McNamara's contact information. Also in the chat, I think Professor McNamara shared the link to our LinkedIn page and our LinkedIn community. It's a really fun page. I really enjoy that LinkedIn page because you get to see a lot of what our students are doing. You get to see what our faculty members are doing. The ICMA chapter, where they are, what conferences they are, where they're presenting. You also get to see some of the presentations and events that are happening as a part of our program and outside of our program as well. Our faculty members are very active in their respective communities and in their respective fields. So you have the chance to engage with them and see what they're up to through our LinkedIn page. Dr. Albright put his contact information in the chat as well. So you can reach out to him also. And if you're also looking to connect with any one of us on our website, you can go to our faculty page where all of our bios and all of our information is listed there as well. So there are plenty of opportunities to connect with us. So with that, I want to thank you for sharing the time that you've spent with us this afternoon. And I hope that we've answered all of your most urgent and pressing questions about our public administration program. As I keep echoing, we are a community here, and we take very seriously our commitment to educating our students and providing you with the necessary support that you need to be successful. So I hope to see you, and I hope to see your application soon. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks so much.